everyone. Welcome to the value plays for DK and FanDuel tonight. Today is November 16th, 2016. It's a Wednesday night. We're looking at a nice, big, juicy 11-game slate. And with plenty of fantastic matchups as well. A few that I'm really liking a lot here. It's really early, bright and early here in Minnesota, and Vegas odds are not quite ready yet, so hold tight for those, and I'm going to be writing another post later, our green light, over on dailyfantasycafe.com. So stay tuned for that. That'll probably have a little bit more info and dirt on it, on the Vegas odds and point spreads and whatnot. But for now, I think we got enough information to kind of work with for some value plays and to find some guys that can help put you over the top, especially if you're going top heavy. Tonight especially, it looks like the point guard and power forward positions, they look to be the most top heavy tonight, and I'm probably going to be spending up at those, which means, you know, shooting guard and small forward, maybe even center, maybe a couple positions that we're looking to, you know, dig a little deep and find some value in tonight. So let's just get started. The other thing to consider is injuries. Stay posted for that. The big one that I'm going to be watching tonight is Andre Drummond, seeing if he plays or not. If not, Baines will definitely be in play once again. But we'll get more to that in a bit at the center position. So let's get going here with the point guard. Tonight I listed two guys. The first being Emmanuel Mudiay. The Nuggets versus the Suns. That should be a fast-paced game. Phoenix plays fast, and I think this is going to be one of my favorite games to watch and probably even use players from tonight. Mudiay is 5,600 on FanDuel and 5.7 on DK, so his price isn't terrible. He's projected 30.26 on FanDuel tonight, according to the optimizer. So, that's about 5x, so that's kind of what you're looking for value, and anything else on top of that is butter. So let's see, he's facing this 26th ranked team in DVP tonight, so that obviously will bode well against the point guard position. And he's playing close to 30 minutes a game, averaging 27 fantasy points a game over his last 10 games this season. So again, that's consistent, and that's good, and that's 5x, so that's kind of what you're looking for. His last game was pretty bad. He shot terribly from the field, less than 20%, and it's just not his forte. It seems like, to be an accurate shooter. But what he does do is he plays a lot and he gets used a lot. His usage rate is 28.76, and he's averaging 1.04 fantasy points a minute. So if he can shoot better than his season average of 34.2 from the field, he should easily meet value. And like I said earlier, he's projected for 30.26 FanDuel points tonight. So that should make a nice sneaky value play there. If Mudiay doesn't do it, maybe Tim Frazier, is another option. Pelicans versus the Magic tonight. This was another one where you got to kind of pay attention to lineups. Drew Holiday will be returning at some point. Whether he plays tonight or not, and how he will be used is unknown, at least as of this morning. So pay close attention to that. If Holiday is expected to play, Frazier may need to be taken off this list. He's he relies heavily on his minute load, and if that gets cut in any way, he may be hard pressed to meet value. Frazier's averaging 27.4 DK points a game over his last 10, along with his 31 minutes. His usage rate's actually pretty high, 19.45, and with that, I'm willing to give him a look tonight. Right now, he's projected 31.3 FanDuel points, and he's facing the Magic, who are allowing about 40 points to the position. So that's right on track with the projections. Again, though, if Holiday is back, I wouldn't be playing Tim Frazier. Have a look at Ish Smith. He's another guy I had on my short list. So if Frazier is not playing, or if he's going to be playing along with Holiday, have a look at Ish Smith. Shooting guard. I'm liking Eric Gordon actually tonight against the Thunder. In a game I think he's going to be used more. James Harden obviously is the man in Houston. There's no doubt about it. Um, but Gordon's, he's facing the 20th ranked team in DVP. He's averaging .78 fantasy points a minute, which isn't fantastic, but with Harden, what do you expect? He does have a higher usage rate, and he's averaging, close to 12, 13 shots a game over his last 10. Um, the FanDuel projection for him is 26.5 points tonight. So when he comes in at 5,200 on FanDuel and 5,000 on DK, that's once again the magical 5x with a higher ceiling as well. So he could definitely pass that tonight. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is my other option at shooting guard. It's Pistons versus the Knicks tonight. Pope is a little cheaper. He's 4,800 on FanDuel and 5,000 on DK. So it's kind of a toss-up there with these two on DraftKings. They're about the same price. Gordon costs significantly more though on FanDuel. So if you're looking on FanDuel for value, I may go with KCP tonight. He's a roller coaster though. You know that he's been kind of consistent over his last 4, but he did have that terrible dud against the Clippers, which I definitely used him on that night. I'll never forget. It was a miserable night. So let's hope he's not due for that anytime soon. But Pope is playing one of the better defenses tonight against the small shooting guard position. And, without the Vegas odds in front of me, I can't really predict which team is heavily favored, if there is a favorite. A heavily favorite, I should say, tonight. But Pope should be seeing 36 or 37 minutes tonight. And he's going to be used at 18.6% like he has been most of the season, which is solid. He did have a nice game last time out with 27.8 DK points. So let's, like I said, hope he's not due for a regression tonight as well. But Pope's projected for 25.9 FanDuel points tonight, so that's well over the 5K, 5X I should say, projections. So KCP seems like a nice shooting guard option tonight. Small forward, TJ Warren is a guy I'm loving the most out of all these value plays tonight in the game versus the Nuggets. He's coming in at 6,300 on FanDuel, 6,700 on DK. His salary will be a little harder to eat on DraftKings, but it's, he's on the Suns up-tempo game, really fast-paced. And this is a position, like I said in the beginning, I'm going to definitely be looking at value, at least to pair up with one of the elite options or even just go straight value to load up elsewhere. Warren is coming off 34.8 DK point performance, and he's had a few days rest, so that is always a plus. He shouldn't be worrying about back-to-backs and being fatigued or possibly playing a few less minutes tonight. And speaking of minutes, he's averaging 37 minutes a game. His usage rate is a whopping 23.3, and so he's on the court. And he's touching the ball a lot when he's on it. That's what you're looking for value. And the other thing is he shoots the ball a lot. 17 shots a game over his last 10 games. That means the opportunity is there. So all the stars are aligning for TJ Warren tonight, and he will be in plenty of my lineups. And he doesn't just score. He gets rebounds, steals, assists. He does the usual kind of fill the stat sheet. So even if he has kind of an off night shooting, the potential's still there for him to meet value. Riskier play tonight, CJ Miles, Pacers versus the Cavs. He's 4,600 on FanDuel and 5,500 on DK. I'm going to be paying up for small forward, like I said. But if you want to have a little risk or maybe even GPP, Miles isn't a terrible option. It's a tough matchup against LeBron and the Cavs. But he has another high usage rate, 22%, and he's kind of like Warren, where he can fill a stat sheet across the board. So in 28 minutes or so, he's averaging a game. That's appealing to me. He's 4,600 on FanDuel, 5,500 on DK. So that's quite the discretion there for for Miles, but FanDuel, he's definitely a lock. Back-to-back isn't too concerning for me tonight. He's projected for 26.7 points on FanDuel. Markieff Morris is my power forward choice tonight. I'm only using one tonight because, like I said, I'm going to be paying up for this position for sure tonight with so many elite options on the board. Wizards versus the Sixers. So let's see here. He's projected at 5,900 on FanDuel and 6,100 on DK. Morris's last game was simply phenomenal. He had a huge game, albeit that was without John Wall and Bradley Beal. So tonight Wall should be back. That should eat into Keefe a little bit with his production. But either way, he's still consistent and been having a great season. He's projected to have 35 minutes on the court, and he's being used at 21.9%. So even with Wall in those other previous games, he's still being used and relied on heavily. Tonight, FanDuel projection is 31.28 for Markieff Morris. So I'm going to be locking him in as my value play at power forward. At the center position, it's Joel Embiid, 76ers. 5,600 on FanDuel, 6,100 on DK. Embiid's price is going up as it should, but he's still kind of on the edge, the borderline there of being a value play tonight. I'm still going to use him. His minutes limit, Schminit's limit. When Embiid's on the court, he is their offense. His usage rate is a phenomenal 40.4%, and tonight he faces off against the worst ranked DVP at center. This should be a lock for a lot of teams. And his past four, he's put up 41.5, 26.5, 36.7, and 31.5 DK points. All these games with minutes limits, all in 26 minutes, he's put up that kind of production. Opportunity is the key, and value is the key in fantasy. And Embiid covers the board on this one. So I'm going to be playing him tonight with absolute confidence. He's projected 27.5 FanDuel points tonight, and I think that's a little low for Embiid tonight, especially with this matchup. But you just never know. But either way, that still meets value, and that's what you're looking for. So everything else with his high ceiling is fantastic. And to wrap it up, like I said, keep an eye on Andre Drummond. If he is in fact out or injured with the ankle still, Aaron Baines makes a fantastic play tonight, coming in close to the minimum, 3,700 on FanDuel and 4,400 on DK. So if Drummond is out, you can probably lock Baines in. It's almost a chalk play. You have to do it at that price. So with that, I wish you all the best. Stay tuned for more over on dailyfantasycafe.com, and we will see you next time. Good luck.